Hello to our next Venture Cafe podcast. This is now episode 18, and we have now Werner here, a very special guest from UMass. You're associate professor there for marketing, is that correct?
That's correct, right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into marketing? What was your inspiration?
Quite honestly, my studies, what I did or what I started at college was not marketing. Mm-hmm. I have a master degree in math. So my background is math. And what got me into marketing is that math is a very fascinating discipline, a very fascinating field, but it's usually without people. It's without human beings. You are there with your concept. Everyone studied math and have a degree, something like that, knows what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And I started to go also into marketing direction parallel to this time. And well, just from a research perspective, it's good to have a math background, so you can do good statistics and things. That is helpful, but it's application for a real math person. That would be not really count as a real math. Okay. So whatever. But it's really the point. I'm fascinated. I think it's more fascinating to work with people, see how people react, and what I always liked was really the term of marketing in the way you bring something to market, and the market decides if something has success or if it fails. So it's not your maybe unfair boss or something else. It is really the market. If you don't make it, well, something is wrong.
And economists would say you vote with your dollars if you.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You vote with your dollars and something like that. And this is interesting from psychology. It's interesting from the people. And I think it's also satisfying, and that's what I think is fascinating on marketing and doing research in marketing, but also practices by yourself. I think that's very important. Unfortunately, a lot of people out there who teach maybe marketing or marketing professors.
Now, I had a very specific purpose you're bringing you here, because I know that UMass has some very great thing going on in marketing here. So I know you have the social media day. Maybe you can talk about that, but there's also the social media lab that you now saying. Can you maybe talk about here about the people who listen to coming to the Venture Cafe may not know about this what's going on, and many people are willing or need to learn or want to tap into this marketing potential.
So what we have started over the last 2 years is some events targeted towards with the topic of social media. Now you would really like to ask, why do we need another social media event, social media conference or something like that? But the idea of what we called first the social media days, and when it was a day event, and we have a social media night and other social media events what we are doing. Why do we need that? I think it's there are all kinds of other conferences out there, but we are very interested in how to do social media. So it's not so much about what kind of gadgets are out there, what kind of tools are there. This is nice, but everyone who works in social media and has some years of experience will realize the debate about tools, the debate about the next gadget, the debate about what is the next platform where everyone should go is really not so important. And the other thing that is very fascinating for me, why we stimulated these conferences, is the way how you do social media came from one person to another. What works for you in social media can differ very much.
Well, the social media, the revolution was basically, my understanding is that it wasn't set up a one-way one before. It was just a TV commercial, a billboard advertisement was a one-way communication, but the social media now, the consumer can talk back. I mean, that was a big revolution.
Right, exactly.
But how can you possibly expand on that one?
Right, exactly. Everyone who knows a little bit the technical background, it's a little bit hard to define what is social media when it starts. I think we have now a better understanding of it. Of course, we have now with these kind of more interactive websites, there's ways how you can respond. Think about Facebook and Twitter and all of the other kind of platforms. This developed over the last 10 years already. We had response channels. The point what changed dramatically is the consumer. The consumer uses the website differently. They expect when you tweet something, when they tweet to you, that you respond in a particular time. On Twitter, it's very fast. If you don't respond within an hour, he will be very, very disappointed. Really forget it. Some people need to respond very much faster. So this is a new challenge for a lot of people who want to use these platforms. And we are aware of that, but that's exactly what this conference is about, how to deal with these challenges. What do other people have? What kind of experience do they have? How do they manage this daily challenge to make an authentic, nice communication, but not investing 100% of their time just in communicating with customers, because then you don't do business, and that's a problem.
Right.
So So our goal is really talking about that. And the funny thing is really, like I said, it's not so much about the tools, but regardless whom you're asking, you could be a big corporation and you can have an advertising agent. It doesn't guarantee that you are successful in social media. It guarantees you that you have a big bill. Some are very successful, some not. You can have a small business so you don't have so much money. Some of them do it really good, and some really struggle with this. And you can be a more tech-oriented person who say, well, the programming is setting up a WordPress theme or doing these and that. It's very easy for me, and automation and so on. And some of them are successful and some not. It's for everyone not a trivial question. Let me know how you do it. And that's exactly what social media days, nights, and other workshops are about. We try to exchange experience with social media and let people talk about how they do it, how it works for them. It could be a little bit tools, but most of the time not the tool matters. It's more the philosophy, what kind of content works for you, and how do you solve this problem, handling so many people, having a vivid conversation, a real conversation, and still having enough time for your real business.
Now, at your social media days, last time I've been there, you had some very big star guests there. Who were the big guests? I believe we just had one social media day. So who were the guests there? That just people get an idea about the event.
Right, exactly. So if you know a little bit the Twitter sphere here in the Boston area, so we had Tom O'Keefe is someone who's really well known here on Twitter in Boston. He has the Boston Tweet, and there's Boston Tweet up. There's Hoslin, who is doing that. Then Elizabeth Comeau from the Globe, she just moved from the Globe, is someone who's pretty well known here in the Twitter sphere. Some people know Buzz Agent as an interesting marketing company. Right. John O'Toole is the founder of it, and he was there. We have also some kind of, let's say, more in the showbiz. Showbiz is wrong, but Eric Fisher is one of the TV hosts here at CBS in Boston. So he has a very big Twitter following. It's not always about Twitter, but some people, it's social media.
Right.
You can get recognition by having a huge followership on Twitter. That's easier to see.
I remember you had VSnap there a year ago, and she was very popular. It's a great speech.
Trish is great. Everyone wants to meet Trish. Trish is really cool, and she's still here in the area. Hopefully we can bring her back on the stage.
Yeah.
I think, and what all of these kind of guests are, they are very approachable, and they love to talk about this real topic, how to make social media work. And that's really what is important for us, having authentic speakers, having people who do it by themselves. We had last time Robert Boznak from the Harvard Business School, and he handles all the alumni connections. If there's one person who handles all of these alumni connections and want to raise something, that's the core of social media. And it's very fascinating to listen to him, how he's doing stuff. You don't need to do it right away exactly at home like he does it, but you can learn from that, and that is pretty likely the learning what we try to deliver. And what I think is more important than reading a manual for a new kind of technique, Facebook has changed something, or a new tool, you settle in relatively fast in the tools that you're using, and you should consider from time to time to use some new tools, or maybe try out a new channel, but it's not the major discussion.
Okay, so basically people would be able to learn not just the tool, but they actually have the real human-to-human message, that it's a meaningful conversation going on, and how to actually have that meaningful conversation to be the correct one. So that would something. Talk about you got the social media lab. That's an ongoing thing.
Yeah, right. We just started the digital media lab. So you don't know where the development goes, and digital media looks to be a little bit longer in this, or longer lasting. But maybe going back to this kind of initiative, you already said we had a lot of good speakers. It could be like conference style. What we really want to do is getting more and more personal, because what I realized is sitting in a conference, having nice speakers who talk with you about stuff could be very inspiring, and we can be all happy on this day. But I want to make sure that when you go home, that something changes. So you change your routine, you rethink it, you take something into practice. And that is what we did. We first of all changed but we have an additional format from a social media day to social media night. We can focus more on a particular topic. We had, for instance, just last week, social media night about storytelling. How to do storytelling, how to engage people with storytelling, very important. And we combined that with video. Video, everyone knows. A picture says more than 1,000 words, and multiple pictures is very much better than just one photo. Means a movie is great, videos is great, everyone knows it, but how to do it, and especially how to do it not on a budget, how to manage it that you get good video results that you can work with. So you can think about a YouTube channel, podcast series, how to develop the podcast series that you can produce by yourself and that stands the quality for the audience there. And the funny thing is we all have cameras, and all our smartphones now have HD cameras.
Right.
And yes, you can use them. And I think this is some of these very simple kind of tricks where what I really like. How can you things make happen? Because hiring an advertising agency who produces for you a TV show, everyone can do that who has money, but that's not a very helpful solution for most people. And that was the topic from last time. We will go then into workshops, so where we have a full day, not 1-to-1, but 1-to-20 or something like that, workshop idea, and you can learn about that.
I'm very tempted to ask. Would you mind sharing your favorite story if it's not too long?
The favorite story.
You talked about the storytelling and
the story.
Do you have a story for us?
From the storytelling, I think very very interesting is when you have examples that really connect. So one of the examples last week, I don't know when this recording will be shown, but there was this Dutch girl who put this kind of storytelling into a really extreme situation, and she told all her family and all of the other members of the family that she will go on a vacation for 5 weeks in Southeast Asia. And what she then did as a storytelling approach is really using all the social media to fake a complete 5 weeks vacation with social media. Means doing Skype calls to the family from her home. She was just some kilometers away, and what you see in this example is not how much dedication she put in telling a fake story very truthfully, make it very, very vivid. Although that was a fake story, I think it is very nice and interesting to see what you can do there, and you need to take the similar kind of passion when you tell your own stories. So what we had there is when people tell, for instance, their business grounding stories. People overseas so often what kind of stories they have in their business. For instance, why do we start this business? What really got us to this idea? Where was this idea born? When this idea was born in a pub, believe me, that's a good story to tell. An idea that is born in a pub, very much better than a very, very elaborated, rational experience. And that is what gets connection.
Now, if people want to now learn more about your social media day, the digital media lab, where can they find that?
It's umbsocial.com is our website. UMB Social is also our hashtag, and UMB Social is also our Twitter handle. So UMB for UMass Boston, and then social. And there you find what we are doing so far. We have a blog there with new articles around all kinds of ideas of social media. Every time when there is a new event, you will get an announcement there. And you can just keep in contact. You can also sign up for our newsletters there, so you can make sure that you don't miss anything.
All right, thank you so much, Werner, for being on our podcast, and hope that many people will reach out from the Venture Cafe to you, and hopefully you can send your students over to the Venture Cafe as well.
Exactly. Thank you very much
for
having me.